Baltimore Ravens versus Washington Commanders. The Baltimore Ravens, 2-0-2-0 ATS. 2-0 OU take on the Washington Commanders 0-2-0-2 ATS. 2-0 OU in the last preseason game on Saturday evening. And the Ravens are 2-0 in the preseason after a win against the Cowboys last week. The Commanders are 0-2, including a home defeat against the Bengals on Monday. The Ravens posted a 30-23 win against the Commanders last season. The Baltimore Ravens are attempting to conclude the preseason with an undefeated record. The Ravens have played stingy defense in the 2 wins. The squad beat the Colts 24-16 in the opener. Next, they recorded a dominating 31-13 road win against the Cowboys last week, in a clash that had the Ravens marked as 1.5-point favorites. Baltimore posted 399 yards of total offense in the win. Lamar Jackson will not play in this one. The backup quarterback is Cooper Rush. The 31-year-old veteran has plenty of experience and is a solid option as the number 2. He was productive in the win last week, connecting on 20 of 30 passes for 198 yards, but tossed 2 picks. Devin Leary is the number 3 quarterback. He has struggled, converting on just 36% of his passes in the preseason. The Ravens' number 2 running back, Justin Hill, has yet to have any carries in the preseason. Keaton Mitchell and Rasheen Ali are next on the depth chart. Ali was a threat last week, amassing 62 rushing yards. D'Ernest Johnson has been outstanding, posting 118 rushing yards in 2 games. Baltimore has a strong receiving corps led by Zay Flowers and Rashod Bateman. They also added DeAndre Hopkins. Devontae Walker is a depth receiver who could be targeted heavily. The 24-year-old brought in 21 yards last season. He has been active in the preseason, recording 61 receiving yards. The Ravens' defense has been promising in the 2 preseason wins. They were decent against the Colts and outstanding last week, keeping the Cowboys to only 276 total yards. The secondary was shaky at times last year, but the Ravens are counting on improvement this season with the addition of cornerback Jair Alexander. The defense has plenty of big names, including linebacker Kyle Van Noy and cornerback Marlon Humphrey, who has been one of the better defensive backs in the NFL for years. Baltimore averaged 30.1 points last season, good for 3rd. The Ravens held opponents to an average of 21.2 points, placing them 8th. The Washington Commanders are seeking their first preseason win. Washington enjoyed a breakout 2024 season and is hoping to give the Eagles a run at the top of the division. Washington opened the preseason with a 48-18 road loss against the Patriots. The squad had more trouble last week. They were dealt a 31-17 home defeat by the Bengals on Monday. The Commanders were 4-point favorites in that one. They generated 270 total yards on offense in the defeat. Washington has one of the most exciting QBs in Jaden Daniels. He will not play in this one. Washington does not have a backup QB battle, as Marcus Mariota is expected to be the number 2. The veteran has a ton of starting experience. He has yet to play in the preseason due to an injury. Washington does have a battle for the number 3 spot with Josh Johnson and Sam Hartman. Johnson has been a backup for most of his career. Hartman enjoyed mammoth seasons in college with Wake Forest. He has 93 passing yards in 2 preseason games. Washington has a solid backfield. Brian Robinson Jr. is the number 1 running back, but he is not with the team and home awaiting a possible trade. They have a potent backup in veteran Austin Eckler, who was the top running back with the Chargers for a few seasons. The 30-year-old managed 367 rushing yards with Washington last year and is used heavily on 3rd downs. Jackery Croskrey Merritt is making a name for himself. The young RB has rushed for 70 yards in preseason play. Jeremy McNichols is the number 3. He has 24 yards in the preseason. The receiving group is stacked. Terry McLaurin is one of the best wide receivers in the game. Washington added Deebo Samuel via trade. Samuel reported 670 receiving yards last season. There is a ton of depth at receiver, including KJ Osborne. The veteran has 123 receiving yards in 2 preseason games. The Commanders' defense was mediocre last year. They had a poor rush defense and one of the strongest pass defenses in the league. They added linebacker Von Miller, who played the last 3 seasons with the Bills. The Commanders held the Patriots to 327 yards in the first preseason game and were stronger last week. conceding only 293 total yards, showing early signs of improvement and better overall defensive cohesion heading into the regular season. Their linebackers and secondary have looked more disciplined, and the addition of Von Miller is already helping them generate pressure and disrupt opposing offenses. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Washington Commoners plus 2.5. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Los Angeles Rams versus Cleveland Browns. The Los Angeles Rams wrap up the preseason action against the Cleveland Browns, with both teams looking to head into the regular season with a 3-0 preseason record. The Rams won their first game 31-21, and then barely edged out their Los Angeles rival in a 23-22 victory. The Browns blew out the opposition in a 30-10 drubbing, followed by a 22-13 win the next week. The Rams are expected to be one of the top teams in their division and the NFC, so the focus in the final preseason game is on the depth of this roster. Matthew Stafford has practiced minimally and is injury-prone at this stage in his career, so the offense will look for reinforcements on the offensive line to protect him this season, especially with left tackle Alaric Jackson on injured reserve. This game will also be a big one for rookies Jarquez Hunter and Kanata Mumfield to try to establish themselves as playmakers in the offense. The offense looks to be fine. The defense, meanwhile, is where the questions are for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Jared Verse is a game-changing edge rusher, but the Rams need more interior pressure, making this game a big one for rookie defensive tackle Ty Hamilton. Likewise, the corner position is questionable, so the Rams will look for Kobe Durant and Emmanuel Forbes to become regulars. The Browns had 5 quarterbacks on their roster at one point and drafted 2 more in the latest draft, highlighting just how unsettled the position has been this offseason. So naturally, the starter for now will be 40-year-old Joe Flacco, bringing experience but also signaling a transitional phase for the team. The real competition is for the backup spot, with Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders battling for playing time and opportunities to prove they can manage an NFL game. Outside of quarterbacking, the biggest question lies in the run game with Nick Chubb no longer on the roster. That opens the door for rookie running back Dylan Sampson to make his mark in this final preseason game, showing coaches his vision, burst, and ability to handle a significant workload. Combined with a receiving core that's still finding chemistry, Cleveland will be looking to establish a more balanced offense while evaluating which young players can contribute in meaningful situations once the regular season begins. The offense has its question marks, while the defense is looking to surround its stars with talent. Myles Garrett is a great pass rusher but needs help up front, making this a time for rookie defensive tackle Mason Graham to shine and make an immediate impact in disrupting opposing backfields. Likewise, the team isn't great up the middle, and rookie linebacker Carson Schwessinger can become a regular as a result, providing energy, playmaking ability, and depth that could stabilize the linebacker core. If both rookies perform well, the defense could take a noticeable step forward and give the offense more room to operate. Both teams have looked explosive on offense in the preseason, and this game shapes up to be a high-scoring affair right from the opening kickoff. The Rams, who have combined for 54 points in their first 2 preseason games, should challenge the Browns' defense with Jarquez Hunter and Kanata Mumfield, turning routine gains into big plays and scoring opportunities. Meanwhile, the Browns aim to build off a 22-point showing, with Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel connecting with open receivers downfield, and Dylan Sampson generating plenty of big runs on the ground. With both teams prioritizing tempo and offensive execution, defensive units may struggle to keep pace, setting the stage for a fast-moving back-and-forth contest. Expect multiple explosive plays, quick scoring drives, and a high total as both squads try to showcase depth and playmakers in meaningful preseason action. The Browns have steamrolled their competition in the preseason, and there's every reason to expect them to continue that trend in the finale with a dominant performance at home. Scoring 52 points over the past 2 games, the offense has looked sharp and balanced, and they should find the end zone at will with Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel leading the charge, exploiting weaknesses in the Rams' defense. On the defensive side, the Browns should continue to stifle opposing attacks, with Mason Graham making key plays up front and Carson Schwessinger disrupting passing lanes in the secondary. With both units performing at a high level, the Browns are positioned to control tempo, sustain drives, and force mistakes from the Rams, making a convincing win likely. Given their preseason dominance, they should not only secure victory but also cover the spread. delivering a decisive and authoritative performance in front of their home crowd. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Browns minus 6.5. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Denver Broncos versus New Orleans Saints. It's the final week of preseason games around the NFL, and this one has some tasty storylines on Saturday, August 22. The Broncos have won both of their preseason games so far. They are planning on featuring their starters for the first time too. The Saints have lost and tied a game during the opening weeks as a quarterback battle continues to heat up. Denver is 2-0 in preseason games this season. The Broncos opened the preseason with a 39 win over San Francisco. They followed it with a 27-7 win over Arizona last week too. Against the Cardinals, it was another good showing for backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham. He threw for 240 yards on 16 for 23 passing. Stidham added 2 touchdowns in the win. Troy Franklin led the team with both touchdown grabs and 4 receptions for 67 yards. In Saturday's game, the Broncos will be playing their starters in the last tune-up game. Expect quarterback Bo Nix, along with star players J.K. Dobbins and Cortland Sutton, to take some snaps. Our plan is to play our starters for 8 to 10 plays, depending, and that's not etched in stone, and then get into our second team and third team. There's still some important decisions to be made, Broncos head coach Sean Payton said on Thursday. On Wednesday, the Broncos sent wide receiver Devon Vile to the Saints in a trade for a 4th-round draft pick in 2026 and a 2027 7th-round pick. He was Denver's 3rd receiving option in his rookie season last year. He's had just 1 reception during the 2 previous preseason games as he looks to overcome a knee injury. This week it was announced that guard Nick Gargiulo is out for the year with an ACL injury. Garrett Wallow, a linebacker, hurt his ankle in last week's game and is questionable. The Saints opened their preseason with a 27-13 loss to the Chargers on August 10. Last week, they faced Jacksonville, where they tied 17-17 on Sunday afternoon. Quarterback Spencer Rattler tossed a 20-yard touchdown and rushed in for the 2-point conversion to tie the game in the final seconds. The Saints are not expected to be major contenders this year thanks to their lack of skills at the quarterback position. The quarterback battle between Rattler and rookie Tyler Show continues. Rattler will get the start in Saturday's game against Denver. Shu was the starter in the previous game, where he threw for 66 yards on 9 for 12 passing. He did not throw a touchdown or an interception. Rattler tossed 199 yards on 18 for 24 with a touchdown and a pick against Jacksonville. But rotating the starters is all a part of the plan, according to new head coach Kellen Moore. He's Rattler, done a nice job. We rotated it last week. We'll rotate again this week. The goal is to get all 3 of those guys in there, Moore said. Moore emphasized that this is not an announcement that Rattler will be the Week 1 starter, but this is the last chance for either quarterback to show their coach that they are the right guy to lead the team. I think our whole goal at the beginning was not to put a timeline on this thing, Moore said. When it's ready and we go. We've got patience on our side, and we'll be just fine. On Wednesday, the Saints were able to receive wide receiver Devon Vile from the Broncos. It's a big pickup for the New Orleans team as they sent 2 draft picks over to Denver. He was Denver's 3rd highest receiving threat as a rookie last year. The Saints' top 3 receivers are all under 6 feet in height, so the 6'5" Vell could be a major threat, especially in the red zone. The Broncos' defense is expected to be one of the best in the NFL this year. Even the 2nd and 3rd stringers have been impressive for the team. They haven't allowed more than 10 points in both preseason games. I expect another similar output against a poor New Orleans offense. On the offensive side, the Broncos should take their foot off the gas in the second half, focusing on running the ball and giving backups more snaps while maintaining control, which will allow them to evaluate depth and preserve energy for the regular season opener. The Broncos will feature their starters for the first time this preseason. For the majority of the first quarter, Denver should be running circles around a New Orleans team that has lost and tied already during this preseason stretch. The Saints are not expected to be contenders, as they are struggling to pick a quarterback between Spencer Rattler and rookie Tyler Show. Even when Bo Nix is subbed out, Jarrett Stidham has looked great during the first 2 games. With the winning momentum on their side, I expect Denver to keep things rolling like they've done already in the preseason. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Denver Broncos minus 3.5. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Jacksonville Jaguars versus Miami Dolphins. The Jacksonville Jaguars and Miami Dolphins will wrap up their preseason Saturday night at Hard Rock Stadium. Jacksonville enters at 0-1-1 after falling to the Steelers in their opener and tying the Saints last week, while Miami comes in at 1-0-1 following a road tie with the Bears and a 24-17 win over the Lions. The Jaguars are expected to sit their first team unit entirely, including second overall pick Travis Hunter, who is dealing with an upper body injury. Miami, on the other hand, plans to let Tua Tagovailoa and several key starters get game action before the regular season. The Jags over-under win total is 7.5 with minus 125 juice on the over and plus 105 on the under, meaning the odds makers see Jacksonville as a fringe playoff contender in the AFC South. Jacksonville's preseason has been a mixed bag, with a 31-25 loss to Pittsburgh followed by a 20-20 tie against New Orleans. New head coach Liam Cohen has made it clear that his primary focus is evaluating depth pieces rather than risking starters. That approach continues this week as Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, and the majority of the first-team offense and defense will not see the field in Miami. The Jaguars have leaned heavily on their backup quarterbacks. Nick Mullins has been the most consistent option, leading the team in passing yards through the first 2 games. John Wolford and rookie Seth Hennigan have also logged snaps, but have not shown the same efficiency as Mullins. On the ground, rookie Bashal Tuten has led the team with 59 yards and 2 touchdowns on 16 carries, showing potential as a rotational piece behind Etienne. Fellow rookie LaQuint Allen has had limited opportunities, carrying the ball just twice for 18 yards. Defensively, Jacksonville has struggled to keep opponents in check, ranking near the bottom of the league in yards allowed during the preseason. The absence of Travis Hunter this week only adds to those concerns for those looking to back them on Saturday. The Dolphins' over-under win total is 8.5, but there is minus 200 juice on the under and plus 165 value on the over, meaning the odds makers are leaning towards a losing season in Miami. Through the first 2 games, Miami opened with a 24-24 tie against the Bears before defeating the Lions 24-17 on the road. Saturday marks their lone home preseason contest, and head coach Mike McDaniel has confirmed that the starters will take the field for the finale. That includes quarterback Tua Tagovailoa, who went 5 of 6 for 27 yards in limited duty against Chicago. The Dolphins have used the preseason to evaluate their depth at quarterback. Zach Wilson has been steady, completing 62.5% of his passes for 247 yards with 1 touchdown and no interceptions. Rookie Quinn Ewers has flashed promise as well, throwing for 207 yards and 2 scores, though his completion rate sits at 45.7%. Together, the trio of Tagovailoa, Wilson, and Ewers gives Miami a significant edge over a Jaguars team leaning exclusively on backups. Rookie running back Ollie Gordon has also impressed, rushing for 83 yards and a touchdown on 18 carries, averaging 4.6 yards per attempt. Kenneth Grant, the Dolphins' first-round pick at defensive tackle, has picked up 6 tackles this preseason, but is currently listed as day-to-day and could miss the game Saturday. I have high expectations for the Dolphins' offense, but I don't share the same optimism about the Jaguars putting up points without Trevor Lawrence. Miami should come out sharp early, yet I don't see the game staying close enough for their offense to remain aggressive once Wilson and Ewers take over. Jacksonville won't play any of its starters, including Trevor Lawrence and rookie CBWR Travis Hunter, while Miami plans to give its first team some real work. That's a huge edge. The Jaguars' defense has struggled throughout the preseason, and without Hunter, the secondary becomes even more vulnerable. Miami also holds the clear advantage at quarterback, with Zach Wilson and Quinn Ewers both showing they can move the offense effectively behind Tua Tagovailoa. That trio should carve up Jacksonville's backups, and Miami's skill position depth should create mismatches all over the field, making this a one-sided affair in terms of both yardage and scoring opportunities. Head coach Mike McDaniel has called this a tune-up game before Week 1, and with the Dolphins at home for their lone preseason contest, the setting couldn't be better. Look for Miami to set the tone early, keep the pressure on, and cover the spread. Expect the coaching staff to use this opportunity to evaluate key players, test offensive and defensive schemes, and fine-tune rotations, all while maintaining intensity to build momentum heading into the regular season opener. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Miami Dolphins -6. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.